So, lastly, and feel free, this is a super chat, and we got the GoFundMe, so keep it going, folks. Jimmy Carter. He was not exactly the most progressive president. Was big fan of the, big servant to the donors too. But I'd say he's probably been one of the more graceful ex-presidents. He still lives in his peanut farm. Yes, I did interview O'Shea Terry's friend down in Dallas. Go check it out. It's all up on this channel. We got playlists, and I think that interview is probably under police brutality, police violence playlists. So you could, on the homepage, just click on playlists. And we're gonna be uploading a lot of these videos to our website too, so you'll be able to see all this. Jen's working on all that stuff. So you got Jimmy Carter was profiled in the Washington Post, I think, as the unglamorous president, I think they called it. The uncelebrity president. And he had some interesting things to say about the United States. Carter has been notably quiet about President Trump, but on this night, 2 years into Trump's terms, he's not holding back. I think he's a disaster, Carter says, in human rights and taking care of people and treating people equal. The worst is that he's not telling the truth, and that just hurts everything, Rosalind says, the former First Lady. Carter says his father taught him that truthfulness matters. He said that was reinforced at the U.S. Naval Academy, where he said students are expelled for telling even the smallest lie. Quote, I think there's been an attitude of ignorance towards the truth by President Trump. Carter says he thinks the Supreme Court's Citizens United decision has changed our political system from a democracy to an oligarchy. Can I get an amen? Money is now preeminent. I mean, it's just gone to hell now. He says he believes that the nation's ethical and moral values are still intact, and that Americans eventually will return to what's right and what's wrong, and what's decent and what's indecent, and what's truthful and what's lies. Oh, that's such a nice, cute thought, Jimmy. But he says, I doubt it happens in my lifetime. I'm sorry to say, I doubt it too. I mean, I don't know how old he is. He's definitely up there in his 90s. But finally, we have an American president still living who acknowledges we're living in an oligarchy. This is nothing short of a corrupt, legal auction. And Jimmy Carter, who, by the way, was not like a super progressive president. He was like kind of like your middle of the road neoliberal Democrat. But Jimmy Carter is saying what we all know. This has all gone to hell. Money is everything. Money rules the country. Money rules the Democrats. Money rules the Republicans. Money buys elections, or tries to buy elections. And it's an oligarchy. So, can we get some other presidents to say that? Well, Bill Clinton's not going to say that because he played a huge part in creating that oligarchy. George W. Bush probably can't even spell oligarchy, so we can't depend on him. Barack Obama didn't exactly, take it to the oligarchy. J-Dog, United States never fired a shot while Carter was president. Imagine that happening today. Well, Carter was responsible for some violence in Central America, but yes, you're right, we didn't have a war. But I think what's important here, most of the other presidents, is Jordan Sheridan living in a bad neighborhood? Every time I watch his channel, I'm constantly hearing sirens in the background. No, that's just living in New York City, and I have my window open. Let me close my window. And the Bloods and the Crips are fighting for me. There's a real battle between the Bloods and the Crips to try and get me on one side. So, I'm not living in a bad neighborhood. But I think what's so interesting, why you have Carter able to say this, is Carter's old. He's going to die in a few years. And he's not a lobbyist. He's not going around giving speeches for, $500,000 a pop like Obama's about to. He's not going to end up sitting on corporate boards. so he could speak the truth about the United States and the rigged oligarchy. He actually, for the most part, cared about human rights. Marshall says, Carter supported brutal regimes and was responsible for mass killing. He just did it in a different style, still imperialism. I can't argue with that. He was a lot better than Reagan. He was a lot better than both Bushes and Clinton. That I will argue with you about. But I think it's important because this is a living president who, by the way, he felt the burn. Jimmy Carter felt the burn. And he's saying what we all know. We don't live in a democracy. We don't live in a republic, a free republic. We live in an oligarchy. So the American dream is just that, a dream. And this notion that the economy's booming is a fantasy. The economy's not booming. The economy's booming for a select group of people that won the life lottery and have enough power and money to basically buy off the government to do their bidding for them. But I say, hell yeah, Jimmy Carter. We need to hear more of this while we still have you on Earth. Jimmy Carter needs to also go and speak against the Democratic Party and the neoliberalism that has taken over the Democratic Party, because they are a huge part of the reason we have an oligarchy. If we had a real opposition party in this country, if we had a real progressive opposition party to these batshit crazy extreme conservatives, then we could get rid of these extreme conservatives, because a little secret, the country is progressive. The majority of this country supports and believes in progressive policies and progressive change across the board. You go down the list of policies. People want progressive policies. People want more government involvement. People want government jobs. People want government health care. People want government supporting and investing in education, in infrastructure. People want less money for war. So I would like to hear a lot more from Jimmy Carter. And I think it's time Barack Obama steps outside of his little neoliberal circle. He's made enough money. And start talking common sense. Obama, since he's left the White House, all of a sudden he says, oh, and that new idea, Medicare for all, might be smart. That new idea, only the idea that you could have implemented when you became president. Obama's also started talking about universal basic income. If only we elected this man. If only we elected this man, Barack Obama. He could have tried to make Medicare for all, universal basic income. I mean, this is what Obama's talking about now. He says we might need to move to universal basic income because of automation. All right, folks, that's all I got today. I'm a little tired from yesterday's marathon. Watch or listen if you got time. We got 7.5 hour marathon from yesterday up on the channel. We also have some interviews I did with Jen, co-founder of Status Coup, as well as Ty, our photojournalist, cameraman, editor. So part 1 of both of those are up. We're going to put part 2 up as well. There's also interviews where Jen interviewed me, so you could get a little bit more insight into me, my path, and what I want to get out of Status Coup. And definitely, I'm not saying this for my health. Go check out the website. We spent a lot of time getting this ready. You could read original reporting there. You could see our promo video, share the content, leave comments, and definitely type in your email address. We want to grow our email list and be ambassadors for Status Coup. It might sound cheesy, but this is still in a grassroots word of mouth stage. So as many people as you could share this content with, as many people as you could suggest, become a subscriber to youtube.com/Status Coup. If you got a couple bucks and you want to see real on the ground progressive journalism, go to our GoFundMe. Again, we're at 18,630, and we definitely passed our goal for October, but that doesn't mean we're stopping. Our goal is 50,000. We are well under that. We've raised 18,630 in basically like a month and a half. So definitely thank you to everyone who's been contributing. Feel free to contribute before the next live stream. I'm going to try and be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'm getting a root canal, so hopefully my mouth isn't super numb after that. And I will be live at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time every single day going forward. So Jen and I will also have a pretty exciting announcement of where we're going and what mega story we'll be releasing in a few days. So definitely stick with us. And remember, most people are not lacking compassion. Most people have no fucking idea what the hell is going on. Peace out.